So the Miami Heat are legit, man. I'll say that. They're one of 4 teams in these playoffs that are actually taking care of business right now. You know, the Heat, the Raptors, the Celtics, and the Rockets are the only teams that are really taking care of business, man. And the Heat has probably been the quietest one of them all because, I mean, they've just been quiet pretty much all. I mean, I don't want to say quiet. They've been underrated pretty much at the beginning of the season and all season long. They're a very good team, man. And there's a lot of individual players on the Heat that you know are underrated themselves. Jimmy Butler's an underrated guy. He's gonna step up in the playoffs. People don't realize how good how much Jimmy Butler ramps up his game in the playoffs. Man, he just gets so much better. In the regular season, he tends to look for his teammates more and try to get everyone else involved. And he's still gonna try and do that, but there's gonna be certain moments and times where Jimmy Butler will just absolutely take over the game. And that's something he wouldn't really do in the regular season, but in the postseason, you're gonna see him looking for a shot more, getting to the free throw line a bunch, and just leading, man. Jimmy Butler's a great leader, especially for that Miami team. Whatever happened in Chicago, whatever happened in Minnesota, whatever happened in Philly, people just painted Jimmy out to be a bad leader, but that dude is, I mean, he fits that Miami culture, man, and that's why they're so good. The Bucks better watch out for this team, man. Like I said, the Heat were one of the teams that I think could potentially beat the Bucks and make a deep playoff run. The Heat are just overmatching Indiana right now. They just have more talent. Thought it'd be a little bit of a better series, but so far, I don't know. Oladipo isn't healthy. Sabonis isn't out there. Um, so I mean, the Miami Heat are just doing what they're supposed to be doing at this point. Dragic just takes over, in the fourth quarter, and that's gonna be huge. Goran Dragic is gonna be huge, man. He was one of my I mean, he would have been another X Factor if I made that video, added more people to that X Factors video that I made. Goran Dragic would have been on that list because he's a huge X Factor. Kendrick Nunn hasn't been playing too well in the bubble, and I think he can be taken out of games, if he's not scoring the ball. So having Goran Dragic out there to create for himself and for others, and he's a veteran, that's gonna be huge for Miami, man. Can they beat the Bucks? Yeah, they can beat the Bucks at this point in time. These are going to be the couple things the Miami Heat needs to do to beat the Bucks. One, I'll say, I don't want to say Jimmy Butler would have to outplay Giannis, but Jimmy Butler would have to average like 25 in that series at least, along with his 6 assists or whatever, 6 rebounds or whatnot, right? He's going to need to do that because they just gonna need someone to go toe-to-toe with Giannis at one point, and I think Jimmy Butler obviously has to be that guy. No one else on the team can really be that guy. My only concern about the Heat is really like off the dribble scoring at certain moments in time because, yeah, you got great shooters. You got Tyler Hero, you got Duncan Robinson, you got Jay Crowder who can shoot. Who else am I missing? You got guys that can shoot out there, man, but besides Butler and Dragic, Bam's not a three-point shooter. It's going to be tough to create offense at times for Miami. I think that's one of their weaknesses is just creating offense, especially like when Jimmy Butler's not out there running the show. But I know Bam can do it, but it just feels kind of different when it's coming from like a guard, you know what I mean? Bam is not doing too great in this series, but I mean, they don't need him to be spectacular or anything like that because Sabonis is not out there. But another thing the Heat would need to do to beat the Bucks, man, they have the defense, man. They got the defensive capabilities too. They got the wall, like I said, man. They got not as good as Toronto's blueprint, but they got the blueprint to stop Giannis to a lesser degree. They got Jimmy Butler. They have Bam, who they're gonna put on the majority of the game. They got Jay Crowder. They got Andre Iguodala. They got Derrick Jones Jr., who will be on them at times, and they're gonna make it real tough for Giannis, man. And if I believe so, Miami doesn't really foul too much too, so they stay really disciplined. They don't really foul a lot. you wouldn't want that, send Giannis to the line a bunch of times, getting in foul trouble and all this stuff, right? Um, Heat are very disciplined at that. Um, I can't wait for that series, man, because I think that he have a legitimate shot to win, man. And one last thing, the Heat are going to need to do to beat the Bucks in the second round is be consistent on the 3-point shot, man. And I think they will, because what are they? Second best team percentage-wise from three this season. I think the Jazz are one. Miami Heat, they're so efficient. Their offense, they a lot of off-ball movement. Um, that's what they love to do, and that's gonna give the Bucks a lot of problems, because the Bucks do give up a lot of threes. They'll let you shoot the three ball, but they're gonna pack the paint as much as possible. And I think the Heat can force Milwaukee's defense to change a little bit. Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson's gonna be huge in that series. I feel like Tyler Hero tends to go on some dry spells, but he's a rookie, that's expected. You got Dragic out there who's gonna be creating and knocking down shots. Jimmy's gonna be creating for others. He's not gonna particularly knock down the three himself, but at times Jimmy can shoot it. In the playoffs he steps up his shooting as well. Along with his scoring. So Miami's just gonna need to continue their hot shooting from the field, from three. And if they do those three things, man, if Jimmy Butler steps up even more as a scorer, if the defense can build a wall around Giannis and just completely do their thing, and if the shooting can be, maybe a little bit better than what they were during the regular season, or at least what they were in the regular season, I think they have a really, really good chance to beat the Bucks, man. But with that being said, I don't think the Heat will go into the finals. They're not beating Toronto. They're not gonna beat Toronto, man. But I can see it's just all about matchups. You might be like, oh, how you see them beating the Bucks but not the Raptors? I just see it as a matchups thing. They just match up way better with the Bucks than they do Toronto. If they were to play Toronto in the second round, I just pick Toronto in that series, for a multitude of reasons. But I'm not gonna get into that. But yeah, I don't see the Heat going to the finals, but I can see them going to the conference finals for sure, man. With that being said, man, this is Jimmy from Just a Fast, and I'm signing out. Peace.